Hi everybody, in this video we're going to look at using a custom brush to create a custom contour from an existing image. So you can see we can make the contour of this dress appear like it is maybe a paint splat, or it could be of anything of your choosing. So let's get started. Okay, so first things first, we need to prepare this image for us to be able to use that custom brush. So she is on one layer on this background. So what I need to do is cut her out and copy her. So to do that, I'm going to I'll start with the object select tool, and this is the one where I just make a selection around the subject, and it should select pretty darn well. And I'm going to just zoom in because I can see it kind of got the shoe, and I don't want the shoes. So I'm going to take my lasso to clean up the rest of the selection. I'm going to hold Option, and I'm going to subtract where I felt like it shouldn't be. So I'm going to subtract that. I'm also going to subtract this shoe from the selection, and maybe this too. Okay, so I'm selected on the dress and the girl. Next, I'm going to copy and paste. So Command C, Command V, and you can see now she's on a separate layer. She's also on the background layer as well. See how I can disappear this layer, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to temporarily disappear this layer. Now I need to remove her from the background layer, but I've lost the selection that I worked so hard on. So how can I bring that back? Well, I know that I copy pasted her here. So if I hold down Command, I'm just going to zoom in so you can see this. If I hold Command on my keyboard while I'm in this little window on the layer, notice that a little selection box appears. And what that does is if I hold Command and I click inside of a window on a layer, it will select automatically what's on that layer. So you can see I've got my selection back now. So as I said, I've disappeared this layer. I'm working on the background layer. I'm going to zoom out here. And what I want to do is press delete. Now I'm making sure that my layer is still locked. When I press delete, because the layer is locked, it's going to give me a choice of what I want to fill the background with. And I'm going to do content aware because I want it to be aware of the content around and fill it in. So I'll say OK. This could take a few seconds. OK. Command D is to deselect. You can see it was a pretty good start. I'm going to finish this up with the Band-Aid tool here. And I'm just going to kind of go around the spots that it missed. With my Band-Aid tool. And this might take a few times. Pretty good so far. I'm just going to finish this. And then I'll work on this. Okay, not bad. Alright, so now I have this. If I'm not satisfied, you can kind of see I'm getting a line here. I could make a selection, or yeah, maybe I'll make a full selection, and I'm just going to blur this. So filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I can bring up the radius, and you can see when I did that I was able to smooth this out some, and I'll say OK. Okay, next I'm going to bring the girl back. So now I have a separate layer. I have her layer and the background layer. So we're ready to go. I'm going to get my rectangle tool, and on the girl's layer I'm going to select a selection box right below her fingertips here, and selecting her dress just like this. And I'm going to cut. So that's Command X is to cut, and then Command V to paste. And if it pastes it in a separate spot, you could move and bring it back, but sometimes you could be just a little bit off. So another way would be to, after I cut something, I can go to Edit, Paste Special, and you can see it's Shift Command V to paste in place, and this will paste it exactly where I cut it. Okay, so now I have 3 layers. I have a background layer, I have the girl from the fingertips up, and I have the bottom of her dress on a layer. Okay, so now we are ready to try out this custom brush. The first thing I need to do is create a mask on layer 2, and that's this button right here. I'm selected on layer 2, I'm going to click the mask. And I don't want to see what's on this layer. Actually, I'm going to undo that because I forgot a step. What we need to do is actually make this dress bigger on layer 2. So before we add that mask, I'm going to go to my liquify tool. So filter, liquify. And I can see the dress here, part of it. I've got the liquify tool, it's this warp tool. I'm just going to make it a little smaller, pretty big. And I'm going to just kind of make this dress a little bit longer and a little bit wider. Making sure, though, that you're not changing this contour up top. You don't want to make this wider because that has to fit exactly where it was. So now that I have that, I'm going to say OK. All right, now we can add the mask. So I'm going to click on the mask. I'm going to Command I inside of the mask, and that will make it disappear. Because when a mask is white, you can see what's on that layer. And when a mask is black, you cannot see what's on that layer. So now that we're ready, I'm selected inside the mask. I'm going to get my paintbrush tool, and I will supply a brush set for you. I might rename it, but it's these splats. And the one I'm going to use, and you can try a different one if you'd like, but I'm going to use this one right here. And I'm going to come over, and this brush looks a little bit big, so I'm going to make it a little smaller with my bracket keys, and I'm going to find a spot that I feel like would look good if I had this splat hitting it. So right here I'm going to click, 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 click to make it a little bit darker. And what's happening is, I'll try to explain it, wherever I paint white, the image will show. Wherever is black will remain missing. So because I painted with a white brush, I'm able to reveal only in that spot where I wanted the dress to come out. And by making the dress larger, we were able to use a nice large brush to make this happen. Now, you could use a different brush. What if we used one of those, remember the scattering letters? We could do that. I'm going to just turn on the angle jitter. And let's take a look how this works. It's a little smaller here. And you can see if I just kind of paint with this, maybe make it a little bit darker up top, you can see what's happening. So, good luck and give it a try.